everybody, Psychic Medium Angelo here, along with my co-host, Jeff the Ref Robinson, the Encyclopedia Britannica of Pro Wrestling, the guru who knew. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, Angelo?
I'm terrific. Jeff, we got a great show today. We got the one, the only WWE Hall of Famer, the Boogie Woogie Man, handsome Jimmy Valiant.
All right. I can't wait for that.
And we got a special surprise for Boogie. He doesn't know it yet, but Davey O'Hannon is going to do a run-in on him.
Wow, that's going to be fun.
So mum's the word, brother.
You got
All right?
it. All right.
Let's get right into that conversation right now in progress.
Here we go.
You had a better education than watching Jimmy Valiant. And we had a little compliment that a lot of people didn't know about. If you walked in a dressing room after your match and somebody said to you, wow, that sounded good. Well, you know what? Jimmy Valiant and the Valiant brothers, it always sounded good. These guys, in my opinion, were the best tag team I ever saw. I saw a lot of them. I saw the Funks. I saw the Briscoes. All right, I don't know who's in the ring right now. I don't pay any attention to wrestling now. But I saw the Road Warriors. I saw Gurria and Martel. I saw everybody. The Valiants were the tag team that changed wrestling. They were so good. They were so good that guys that had already been in the business 20 years would go out and watch their matches. I'm telling you, that's a fact.
Oh, man, beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what, Boogie, we got, you know how hard I had to work to get Davey O'Hannon up here?
Oh, I bet, brother. Hey, this man here, I tell you, man, I'm so honored, to be able to do your show. First of all, Angelo, and then to have, a guest on, the call right in, Davey, and I'll tell you, I'm just honored. I'm honored to, have known him and to been part of his career and part of many, careers. Hey, when I was, time flies in our business, Davey will tell you, my goodness, when I started, my mentor, was, of course, Dick the Bruiser and Vern Gagne and this and that. And all the, old-timers, you look around, and I'm just a young kid, in the early 60s and starting out, and before you know it, Davey, hey, Angelo, man, it just flies. I mean, our business is so fast, and now, hey,
it sure is.
Yeah, this will be my 56th year, and this is my farewell tour. And God's been really good to me, and I'm still lacing the boots up some, but this is my last year, and I'm just honored to be on here. But Davey, what kind words? Thanks for the kind words, brother.
Well,
man, I can give them right back to you. You were what talent, and man, you were around, us guys before you got in, and for years, my goodness, and then I was so pleased when you got in that square circle, man, and did your thing, man. And,
well, I want to.
Well, I got a quick message for you before I give you guys a show back, because people certainly want to hear Boogie before they want to hear Davey. But I got 3 hellos for you. Johnny Rods, Manny Soto, and Pete Sanchez all send their love.
Wow.
I know, Davey, I know, you helped them, after, and even, their career, with jobs and, and different things, and man, hey, tell Manny and tell Pete and Johnny Rods, man, the unpredictable Rods, man, tell them, please, God bless them, and hey, I was very fortunate to be in 1996 inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame with Johnny Rods, man.
Well, and
so that was a great year of talent that man, I was just honored to be with them guys. Of course, Killer Kowalski was in that year.
That's right. Well,
yes.
Jimmy, I was there that night. I was there that night honoring you guys, and I have your address here. I got a little present for you. I'm gonna send it out. I'll try to get it out tomorrow. I got a really good picture of you, me, Mike Cicluna, and Johnny Rods, all dressed up in our tuxedos for your induction.
That's awesome.
Hey, and please, Davey, send that because I got a wrestling camp, Hall of Fame museum here, and brother, I'll have that on the wall for everyone to enjoy from years to come. And I got thousands of pictures up in every building, but I'll find a special place for that. And please do that and send that and hey, autograph that for me if you will, and just put your autograph on it, man. You know, and a little message or just your name. It don't matter. Or put the BWC. You know, and
I sure will.
Yes, yeah, but
I sure will. Well, listen. I'm gonna let you guys get back to Jimmy. Jimmy, I just got to tell you something.
What? I'm just going to sit here and be a fly.
Yeah, just watch what's going on there, punk. All right. Jimmy, I just want to tell you how much you meant to the business that I loved. You made it. You made it a dream come true for guys like me that were able to get in, and you taught everybody the right way to do it. You never made a joke about what we did for a living. You were absolutely one of the most charismatic and fun guys to watch, and that's not just for the fans, that's for us, and I want to thank you. You keep an eye on your mail. I'm going to get this thing out tomorrow. I'm going to wrap it up and make sure everything's okay. Angelo, thanks so much for giving me a few minutes here.
I'm honored, Davey. You know, you're my friend, and I wanted to surprise my other friend Boogie with a phone call from one of his fellow road mates and a guy he spent a lot of time with.
Well, Jimmy, once again,
thank you for calling, man, and being part of this and being part of my life, brother, man, and your kind words. And I'm looking forward to that picture, brother. And,
very good.
And I want to invite you and anybody listening to come down. We're only open on Sundays from 12 noon to 4 o'clock, and everything, you know, for the fans is all free. There's no ticket to buy. I got a Hall of Fame museum here. Watch the kids train. We've been here now going on our 30th year, and so it's really a spectacular compound that I have, and it's only open 4 hours a week, guys, and just boy, it smokes, man. It's clanging and clanging and bumping and jumping, brother, man. Every 12.
Well, I may surprise you. I got a Florida trip coming up, a road trip, and I just may surprise you. But listen, you guys get back. Once again, the very best. Jimmy Valiant, Boogie, we love you. Take care, my friend.
Love you. Hey, thank you so much, Davey. Thank you. I love you, brother.
All right, Jimmy. Bye-bye. Angelo, I'll be speaking to you. Thanks.
All right, Davey. Thank you so much, Davey, for calling in. That's beautiful.
Bye, Angelo.
My brother. How you doing, Bug?
Good, baby. Good. You know, I had a real busy day, man. You know, they're making you get special license now with a star on it to to fly. You know, and although this is my farewell tour, this year, 2020. And which will make 7 decades I've been wrestling consecutively in.
That's amazing.
I started in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, and 2020. That's 7 consecutive decades, although it's only 56 actual years. But still, it's something personal, something to me. And the thing is, brother, man, that after this year, I'm not going to get back into square circle. But hey, man, I'll be 78 in August. So
God bless you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Angel says, well, Boogie, isn't you think about time to hang them boots up? And I says,
Right.
Special to me, and I said, let's do it then. But still, Angelo, then I'm still going to go out and do, conventions and, different kinds.
Oh, sure.
Sports.
Well, let's be honest, Boogie. Let's be real honest. You might call it, a day at 7 decades, but you got a hell of a lot of life. You got a lot of living to do. There's a lot of life left in you.
Yep.
Yes, sir. God's been good to me. Angelo, we all got health issues and everything else, but you just got to keep going. You got to get up and man, kick it, man, in the morning, man. And
absolutely.
Yes, sir. And it just broke my heart because I figured, and I'll give you 3 names here, Angelo. I always said if anybody in our business has a chance to make that century mark, 100 years old, I said number 1 would be Bruno Sammartino, and the way he lived healthy and ran and just worked out his whole life and never smoked, drank. None of these guys have. And number 2 was Killer Kowalski, vegetarian.
Oh, yeah.
And really lived a clean life, no smoke, no drugs, no nothing. And drinking nothing, and the third one was Nikolai Volkov, and God bless, they all passed. Went to that big ring in the sky, and they all passed in their, I guess, their later early 80s or late late 70s, or somewhere around that.
Yeah.
And I would, for sure, if anybody had a chance at it, that century mark, I would give them 3 the thumbs up.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially the 2 that you mentioned, I actually knew, Jimmy. I knew Bruno very well.
Yes, sir, I know you did.
Yes. And actually it was Killer Kowalski and Carl Lauer were the 2 guys that signed me up for my lifetime membership for Cauliflower Alley.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Walter Kowalski that man was a machine. He just never stopped.
Oh, wasn't he though? Wasn't he? Yeah. Oh, brother, he would blow you up, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
He could go forever and just keep stomping and punching.
Yeah.
Going. You bet. Yeah, he was in the best shape, and certain people are like that, machines, and Ivan Koloff was like that, and I wrestled with Ivan one time for 9 months, 7 days a week, and with the Crockett Corporation.
Yeah.
In the 80s, and we had he was the TV champion, Angelo, and you had to beat him within 20 minutes. That was the deal, the TV, in the house shows, and so we would go, Broadway all the way through, 20 minutes.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, Boogie,
every night, and I'd have him beat in 1, 2, or sleeper or something. And the bell would ring, but we did that for 9 months, and boy, that guy got me in the best shape of my life.
I'm gonna tell you what you know what, Boogie, I'm gonna tell you something. My co-host, who I'm going to introduce you to here in a second, but I just want to tell everybody, if you're just tuning in now, if you're just tuning into the show, if you missed the first part of the show, boy, we had an amazing conversation with Davey O'Hannon and our special guest of the day, the incomparable, handsome Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. And Jimmy, I want to introduce you right now to my co-host, Jeff the Ref Robinson, and he has a very special relationship with Ivan Koloff. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Boogie, how you doing, brother?
Good, Jeff. Good, brother. God bless you, man. Hey, first of all, I want to really thank you for having me on, your show. You and Angelo, man, you guys are kicking it, man. Just keep up what you're doing, man. And you all got the hottest thing going. I'm telling you, man. I hear nothing but good stuff about it, and I catch it when I can, man. And brother, I'm just honored to be on here with you and Angelo, Jeff.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, me and Ivan Koloff, Uncle Ivan, as I loved it and endeared him to call him. Me and him, I had a relationship with him to where I would call him about once a week. And Renee actually told me to tell you hello when we had you on the show today. So Renee did say a special hello to you, Boogie.
You bet. Oh, God bless her. You know, I know that lady. Just as a young girl, and God bless her. She took care of Uncle Ivan, man. She took care of him. Just like the champion he is, and I know she just adored him. He adored her, and
yes, he did.
Wonderful, family, daughter, and. Just a great life, and I know he was the happiest ever, with Renee, and she's such a sweetheart, and I see her from time to time, now, and it's just a blessing. Yes, Renee, honey, God bless you. I love you.
You mentioned, Jimmy, it's 7 consecutive decades in the wrestling business. But a lot of people might be really surprised to find out that wrestling kind of came by accident to you. And doing a little research, I found out that you were well on your way to a career as a professional bodybuilder.
Yes.
And so I got to tell you, when I saw pictures of you in your incredible book, by the way. It's called Woo Mercy Daddy. Welcome to my world, the Jimmy Valiant Story.
Yes, sir. Yes,
wonderful book. And I saw a picture in there, and I was blown away at your physique, brother. You were jacked up.
Yes, I was. Yeah, Jeff. That's how it all happened in 1964. The Volkov. In fact, the original Volkov, and there was Nikolai and Boris Volkov, and I'm not talking about Nikolai Volkov, which me and Angelo was just disgusting. The one that teamed up with the Iron Sheik in the 80s and tag teams and all that, our good friend, and he was one of the Mongols, and not that Nikolai. This was the original Volkov brothers. Nikolai Volkov, his real name was Steve Gobb, and he was from New York there. He was in fact, he went to the Olympics as a weightlifter and did a real good for us. And the thing is that these guys, Boris and Nikolai Volkov, they were hot in the 40s and the 50s,
right.
And these were my mentors. You're right, man. I was a bodybuilder, and one of the Volkovs, his name was Frank Zila, and he went as Boris. He owned a big health club, and it's called the Acres in Calumet City, Illinois, and I managed it for him. I worked for him since I was in high school, and then now I'm like 20 years old, man, and I knew he was an old-time wrestler, and then they went back on the road, him and Nikolai, and so when they did, he says to me, this is what you should do. I was a bodybuilder, and I was getting ready for contests and getting ready for, just living my life right as a gym person, but you're right, and he's my boss, and he said, I'll train you. And, there was no wrestling schools back then. Now, there was one, I think there was one in Detroit and one down in Chicago, but it was before, many of them. And,
right.
So anyway, I actually, Jeff, learned on the job, because in 3 weeks, he trained me a little, and what was really great was one of our NWA world champions, the same belt that Harley Race and Flair and the Funks and Briscoe had that belt, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship belt. His name was Bobby Manigoff. Check it out. And he was champion in 1942, and that's the year I was born, 1942. Well, he was downstairs, and at that time he had a coma in his eyes and almost blind, and he was given massages, for at the Acres, and we take care of each other. The Volkovs took care of him, and he needed a little work. He wanted work, and so he massaged, and he could do that without seeing real good. But the thing was, his knowledge. He fed me all this knowledge, just talking, and then of course the Volkovs worked with us for 3 weeks, and they put me in the ring in 3 weeks, man.
Well, Boogie.
Yeah, so I actually, which is a good way you get your on-the-job training, and then when they hooked me up with Dick the Bruiser in Indianapolis, and I would do TV, and for them, and they beat me, and all the mean Roscoe's, man, all the mean heels, and then of course this is how we learn, and then they sent me to the Sheik in Detroit, and 300 miles from Chicago or Hammond, Indiana, I lived at. And then they sent me to Mustick in St. Louis, 400 miles.
Wow.
And then I went to Minneapolis, sent me to Bernagania. But all I did was TV, see?
Yeah.
And then they started giving me some house shows. All these people, all these promoters, and they started liking me. And that's where I really learned, not TV.
Yeah.
Not because of TV, they just eat me up,
Yeah.
They call all the young boys just good young, meat, man, like throwing the lamb to the lion,
It's like
Your enhancement.
Fresh meat, right, Boogie?
Fresh meat, baby.
Fresh meat. Boogie, it's Angelo here. So how you doing, brother? Listen, so let's talk about this. So you're talking to Jeff about, bodybuilding and how you got into wrestling. So, you're talking about there's no school, so you learned on a shoot, right? So the guys, they stretch you a little bit.
Oh, brother, if you were a wise guy and thought you knew everything, real cocky, they'd break your leg, man. I'm telling you, they hurt you. Yeah, and you would be out there, man, like a scalded dog with the tail between your legs running, man. But if you were, really wanting it and really, going with whatever they say. When Frank Zila, which was Boris Volkov, when he says when he first sent me to Dick the Bruiser in Indianapolis, first TV, they didn't even smart me. He says, just listen to what they want. Listen to what they say. Don't do nothing on your own. Because I was so green. I only been wrestling, for 6 weeks then, and so the whole thing is I did, and I wanted it, and I listened, and I kept my mouth shut, and I learned, and that they see that, and they said that hey, this kid's all right, and then what they would do is they start giving me house shows during the week, and then they would put me on first match, or second match, and they would let the veterans go 15-20 minutes with me,
Right.
That's how I learned, and that's how I learned in the ring, and then they'd beat me, you know what I mean?
That was the best training, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, 6 months down the line, I'd give me a little win somewhere, not on TV, but in the house show. Or they'd let me go Broadway, all the way through,
Sure.
Until the bell rang. But they would, 30 minutes, and that's how I was learning, and that's how we did it at the time. Not like I have Angel and myself. We started Boogie's Wrestling Camp Hall of Fame Museum here in Shawsville, Virginia.
I encourage everybody to go and see it. I've actually been there a couple times.
Yes, you have, sir.
And I got to tell you what, this is like walking into wrestling history. for real. You know, and every square inch of wall space is covered, literally covered with pictures of the greatest stars in wrestling. And, people need to know that. And there's, of course, you and Angel maintain the place. You do a wonderful job. Do you still have the Valiant mobile there, Jimmy?
Yes, I do. I do. I have, in the museum part, I have my three-wheeler, which was in so many videos, and I have the Valiant mobile. I have that, and that was in so many, so many different videos, and
yeah.
Yes, sir, and I have a Harley, and a Hog, and I got a Doom Buggy that I did years ago, way in the '60s, and it's really wild. And I have the limousine that we use, me and Johnny in New York. Then I took it to Memphis with me, and that was in videos, and so they're all there, right there in the museum.
Yeah.
And to enjoy and then of course we got the Hall of Fame building, and we got the dressing rooms. Every room's got thousands of pictures.
Now, Jimmy,
yes, sir.
I got to tell you, my co-host Jeff the Ref, he has a special Jimmy Valiant story he wants to share with you.
Yes, sir. Good, Jeff.
Okay, actually, I had just gotten started in the business. Probably only been in it maybe nine months, maybe a year at most. And I was getting a tryout with a promoter by the name of Chris Plano for wrestling. And the place actually was in Williamsburg, Virginia, at William and Mary College. And you were facing Rick Link at the time.
Yes, sir.
You actually taught me the art of being a referee, dealing with quote unquote comedy wrestling, so to say, for the match between you and Link, because he was doing like the gimmick where he would have the foreign object and put it under his arm, and then I was checking his tights. And
exactly. Yes, sir. Yes. Man.
I just wanted to personally thank you for helping me out as a young referee and teaching me at a very, that art at a very young time in my getting going in my career. I really, really appreciate it. It meant a lot to me, Boogie. Thank you very much.
Good, Jeff. Thank you. And Jeff, that's the whole thing. A good referee like yourself, Tommy Young. There's so many good referees, but man, they're working, they're doing their thing, and they're part of the show that you couldn't do without them, man. But the whole thing is that they're never in there, getting in the way. If the boys know, and we're listening, and we're taking, when you count, brother, we're going to stop, because you don't want to get disqualified. You don't want to whatever. You're choking. You count. We stop. But the thing is, we don't even know. Now, if you're in the way and in the, trying to steal the show, doing that, because you are the show, brother, man. We can't do without you. And so Tommy Young, I didn't even know he was in there. We don't think, but we're listening. We know he's there, and we know he's doing the job. We don't have to do, we're you, same way, brother, and I know you were green then, and that's why, I helped you. It just be like so many others helped me, I had to give back, and it's just like it's time to make you, and once you're made, then, brother, you just do your thing, and automatically, and we know you're doing it. We don't even have to, look. We know what you're doing, man.
Exactly.
You're doing your job, man, just like we're doing our job, and that's when it really clicks, and that's what makes a real good referee, and what you were, and yes, sir.
I appreciate that. Now, Boogie, I got a quick question for you. Hangman Adam Page, who is now currently with AEW, which is the new one that's the new product out there. I mean, I don't know if you watch any wrestling at all, but by the way, he is doing a tremendous job out there right now, man.
Oh, isn't he though? Yeah. They flew me into Memphis. They had last week, and we did the Memphis Legend thing for them, and it was me and Rock and Roll and Austin Idol, and it was Kevin Lawler, and it was Doug Gilbert, and it was Dave Brown, and I hope I'm not leaving the name out, but we also honored the legends that has passed on, went to that big square ring in the sky. God bless them, and so we talked to Lanny Poffo, God bless him, and he talked about his father, and of course his brother, and so then, because they were legends there, and Randy, and then Lawler, he talked to about his brother, and Mr. Sexy Man, and Brian, and then it was then Doug Gilbert talked about his father Tommy, and of course Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, both Gilberts, and then of course Dave Brown talked about his partner Lance Russell, and so it was really nice, and I of course watch my with the Hangman's match, and I'm just so proud of him. He came here and to BWC here and trained, and he was going to Tech, and Virginia Tech, and we're only like 20 miles from there, so that's where we are. We're up in the in the New River Valley in Shawsville, Virginia, and just look up JimmyValiant.weebly.com. And Jimmy Valiant .weebly, WEEBLY.com. There's 2 dots there, so you got to have that JimmyValiant.weebly.com, and you'll find everything there. But yeah, I was honored to be there, and to give credibility, if we can, to this new organization, and of course, and to my kid, man, and. So we did something there. They wanted to tape something, storyline for that, and which I did, and I guess that showed a few days later. Some of my kids told me had seen it, and it was where they do another show. It's called Dynamite, or they take footage, or they do that stuff that night, but they show it another night. So they do that live show, which we were on. We came out and did a couple of things for them in the live show, but then they got me and Hangman Page, together, and for something that he's doing now, and I was just honored and just so proud of him. He's such talent, man. This kid, such a good-looking kid, and the nicest man you could ever meet in your life, and I just take my hat off to Adam. And
he's going to be a star, Jimmy.
Oh, big time. Big time, brother.
Speaking of stars, so I got to ask you a question, brother. I've known you for a long time, and I got to ask you this. How did Jim Fanning evolve into Big Jim Valiant, and how did you become a handsome Jimmy Valiant?
Okay.
Because I heard some stories, brother.
Yeah, it is. I started out, the first name, Dick the Bruiser, I'm sorry, the Volkovs gave me my first name, which was Jimmy Valentine. So I wrestled like 6 weeks in Jimmy Valentine and Dick the Bruiser like this. So I continued on TV as Jimmy Valentine from Hollywood, California. But when they sent me to the Sheik changed my name to Big John Vallon. And, then when they sent me to Vern Gagne in Minneapolis. He gave me the name Jimmy the Body Valiant instead of Big John Valiant.
Right.
And so when I went to Sam Mushnick in St. Louis, and he just went with Jimmy the Body Valiant. Well, then I went on the road, and I went in as Jimmy the Body Valiant to Oklahoma, and then from there I went to and here's how I got my name that stuck with me. Then I went there to Fritz von Erich in Dallas, Texas, and at that time Johnny Valentine was there in the territory, and he was his big star, you know, and so he says, Fritz says the first day I came in, he says, Jimmy Valiant is too close to Johnny Valentine, so I don't want to get no mixed up, on posters or whatever.
Right.
And I haven't got my break or nothing. I'm just in the middle, and still a young kid. And he looks at me, and within 30 seconds, man, he says, your name is the handsome Jimmy Valiant. And he spit that right out in 30 seconds. So
that's the story I heard.
Yeah, handsome Jimmy Valiant. And when I left there, I went to New York and at the Vince, and they used handsome Jimmy Valiant. Well, then see, it stuck because in New York is where I got my big break.
Yeah.
So I got my break in New York, and then of course once you get your break and you get that name and it's established, and it was before Angelo. This is the early '70s, '71. It was before the cable hit all over. So
right.
If you became a international star where the whole world knows who handsome Jimmy Valiant is, you have to be in New York because that's where all the magazines came from.
Sure.
And the first time I went, I stayed 15 months, and I was on 12 different covers. So they just.
I know. I have a lot of them.
Yeah. That's what made me. Because then wherever I went to Oklahoma or wherever I went, brother, before cable, everybody knew me because of the magazines.
Well, I'm gonna tell everybody a story.
Yeah.
The first time I met handsome Jimmy Valiant with his brother, Lucious Johnny Valiant, I was 10 years old. I'm sorry, I was 12 years old. It was 1970 at the Philadelphia Arena.
Love it.
Now, I was introduced to you by Phil Zacco.
Yes, sir. Phil. Yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you something about Phil Zacco you don't know.
All right.
I'm his nephew.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. My goodness.
You never knew that.
I didn't, but man, I loved him. What a promoter, and oh my goodness, my goodness. Yeah, he promoted Baltimore and Washington, and of course he promoted, TV. We hit in Philly, and
sure.
You're right at the old arena, man.
45th and Market Street.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, my first match. My first match, and everybody who listens to the show knows I've talked about it, was 1965. It was Killer Kowalski versus Bruno.
Love it.
It was 1965, and then I didn't go back until 1970, and I saw the Valiant Brothers versus Lou Albano and Tony Altamori.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What characters, man, Captain Lou and Tony, man. Oh, my goodness. They had a team going, man, in the early 60s in Chicago, as the Sicilians. And
yeah, they got in some trouble for it, too, I heard.
Oh, yeah. The Mafia or whoever right around down Chicago. They called up there.
That's
and,
true.
True story. And
Yeah,
said,
it sure is.
Hey, cut that out. And Brother Vince brought them out of back to New York. And
that's what I heard.
Yes, sir.
I actually, it's funny, Boogie, because I heard that Bruno had to kind of put the kibosh on it.
Yeah.
I heard that because, Bruno, he was like revered among the Italians,
Oh, yes, you bet. Yeah, you bet. Yes, sir.
So you and Johnny started what, like 1970, right? Somewhere around there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So whose idea was it to put you and Thomas Sullivan together, who we would know as Johnny Valiant?
Yeah, I was working in Indianapolis for Bruiser, and I was on top. Bobby Heenan, beautiful Bobby, handsome Jimmy, he was my manager, and Bobby was wanting to go, Angelo, to AWA Vergania, and so Bruiser, he says to Bobby, you're going to have to place yourself with another top hand, and so it was Bobby's idea. He remembered going. We would go in Detroit and work in Detroit, and then stay over Saturday night, and then Sunday we would go across into Canada, London, Ontario, and wrestle for the Bearman, Dave McKegney, and then we'd come on back to the States that the same day, and so Bobby says, remember that real big muscle kid, that good-looking blonde kid, that the Bearman would use, when we'd go over there, and he says, and I said, yeah, I do, and because I like Johnny then, and Tom Sullivan, and so then he says, well, how about getting him here, as your tag team, brother, and that would replace me, and then I could go to Vern. So we worked it around. I okayed it, man. You bet,
sure,
brother. And so we talked to the Bruiser, and he says, where's this kid at, and he wants to take a look at him, of course, and he says, well, he's in Pittsburgh, and at that time, Bruno was running Pittsburgh, and this was in the late 60s,
right?
And so when we hooked up, and so he called Bruno, and see, Bruce's wife, she was Italian. She always wanted Dick to bring Bruno into territory,
Yeah.
At least to meet him and everything, because, just like you said, boy, he was, he was just idol to all the Italians, and including her, and Dick the Bruiser was, the hottest thing in the country, also. But so he talked to Bruno, and he says, well, here, I want to book you and Jimmy and Roski and come in, and I'll introduce you to Johnny, and you watch him work, and so that happened, and then Dick later on say, okay, see, Bruno broke Johnny in,
right,
and he was in North Hills there in Pittsburgh, and they were just a young kid, and so help get him going. So he says, here's the deal. He says, you come in and do shots for me, and I'll use this kid, and with Jimmy and his brothers, and then he says, then he didn't tell him about Bobby, but it worked out this way. So we started talking about, and Bruno agreed to it. He said, okay, I'll come in for so many shots and so many months and blah, blah, blah. And so me and Bobby started talking about Johnny,
Yeah.
Hey, wait till you see Handsome Jimmy's brother, Lucious Johnny, you know, and he says, hey, there's no difference between the Valiant brothers, you know. The only difference is Johnny's not handsome, he's luscious. And
there you go.
Jimmy's not luscious, he's handsome. He's the only difference between the brothers.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Here's the funny thing, is that the funniest thing about it is that if you didn't know any better, if you weren't smart enough, you guys could have passed for brothers because you looked enough alike.
You bet. Yeah,
you really did. And that was at a time when, you know, like the Worldwide Wrestling Federation and the National Wrestling Alliance were really big into promoting brother teams.
Right.
And so when you and Johnny got together and you finally solidified like a cohesive team, you guys traveled the whole country as the Valiant Brothers, right? Or just a...
We did. 5 years. We went, of course, Dick the Bruiser, that's where we started. Then we went into New York as tag team partners and with Captain Lou as our manager. When I went in 70, then the Grand Wizard, you know, Ernie Roth was my manager. And
right.
But then with Johnny, me and Johnny, okay. And then there we went to Gagne for a year. We went to Atlanta for a year with you know, Jim Barnett, the championship, Georgia Championship Wrestling. Then we went out to Frisco, you know, with Roy Shires. We were tag team champions everywhere we went, you know.
Yeah.
And, yes, 5 years it lasted. And,
now,
yes, sir.
It's funny because you mentioned Ernie Roth. Now, there's a name that a lot of people need to remember because Ernie Roth, the Grand Wizard, that man was a character and then some. But moreover, Ernie Roth was a great mouthpiece. So here's my question. How long was it, Boogie, before the promoters trusted you with a microphone? Because we already know that Johnny was a great mouthpiece. And we already know that you're pretty good on the stick yourself. Real good. And so when did they decide that you guys, you know, were okay by yourselves, that you didn't need somebody to do your speaking for you?
Right. Well, at that time, you know, if you didn't talk or much or whatever, then the managers would do, because they had Freddie, the classy Freddie Blassie there, and Albano, and they had of course the Wizard, Grand Wizard, and them three were the mainstays in the early 70s, and then later on they had Fuji. Mr. Fuji had many, you know, but Fuji was still wrestling with Tanaka then. But the thing is, if you could talk, you know, they encouraged that, you know, because you know, you're not going to stay there, mainstay there. So when they're just trying to build you to come back every 4 years, and so they would let. So Ernie Ruff, of course, he would do most, and then he'd let me jump in there and get my thing in, and then they'd finish it, and that's how we started. And then he would give me more and more, and he would school me and encourage me, and because many places I'd go then without a manager, I just did all my talking.
Sure, yeah.
But I was so fortunate to have, the best. Ernie Roth, Captain Lou Albano, Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan, oh my goodness, I was just so fortunate to have the best of the best.
We heard, we had, of course, I surprised you, Boogie, at the beginning of the show with Davey O'Hannon. When, Davey's been on the show before. And he told some hilarious stories about Arnold Skolin and Lou Albano. So I have to ask you, Bug, was Lou, and shoot with me, brother, I want you to shoot with me. Was Lou as out of control as people say he was?
You bet. I'm going to tell you something. He was the wildest man. And me and Johnny, man, we just loved it, of course, and we laughed, and you couldn't do nothing with him. You know, he carried a little green Samsonite suitcase. It was small, little case, and it was thick, and it was really it looked like a woman's case. But you know, but the deal is, he carried it every day, everywhere he went. And he had two things in it, Angelo. Two things. And
vodka?
Tell me again?
Vodka?
It was a Fleshman. Yeah, it was Fleshman. Whiskey. and he'd have a quart of that, or a fifth, whatever, big bottle of that every morning. You know, when he'd come, it'd be a full one. And the other second thing he had in there was a machete.
Oh, shit.
Hey, he would drink, you know, all day, you know, all night, whatever. But
yeah.
That thing, man, and he was wild. Oh my goodness.
I heard, man. That's crazy.
You know, we're going and you know, we always drinking beer, and then years ago, you know, it was completely different. Then we'd all have back at our feet, and you know, the captain would drink, you know, the Fleshman, and we, you know, just feeling good after the match, driving, and of course, the boys would pull over on the side of the road, and I mean highways, you know, main drags, and you know, we'd check the tire, we called in, we'd go over to the other side, and we would relieve ourselves, because we're going home, or going to the next shot, another city, another state, wherever. So we got to keep going, but this time we're coming back, and you know, the captain lived right there out of New York, right in New York, and you know, around Skolin somewhere there in White Plains, and so captain, while he's you know, relieving himself, he sees these new little trees planted, that the state put up, you know, and they're in the media across the road, and so when he gets done, Capper goes over there, and I says, "Be careful, Cap, where you going, man?" You know, and he's, you know, dodging the cars. He finally gets over in the media. He starts pulling these out of the ground. Man.
Oh my God!
He gets about 6 or 8 of them, and he's open the trunk, and he opens the trunk, he throws them in there, and when he gets home, he takes them out, and he's going to plant them in the morning. He called it wild. He called it wax. He said, "I'm gonna wax them things," you know.
Oh my God! Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, I got a question now, Boogie. When I started watching you in 1985, and you were in the middle of a heated feud with Paul Jones. That was,
you know, that was one of the longest feud, steady, straight feuds. It lasted 5 years, and I wrestled either Paul Jones or one of his army every night. Now that time I didn't have I was the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, instead of Handsome Jimmy. I was a crowd pleaser, and you know, I didn't change my style. I would pull hair, I'd hit them with cheers, and the people would lie for me. You know, the referee, you know, asked, "Hey, did he pull?" Because the bad guy would say, "Hey, he pulling my hair," and I just point to the crowd, and they say, "Did he pull?" And they say, "No," you know. So I couldn't do no wrong with them, and so the thing was, I was over, and so whatever I did, you know, with Paul Jones, man, in his army, you know, he had the Barbarian, he had the superstar Billy Graham, but he was doing the kung fu fighting. He come out to that song. He was doing the karate thing at that time,
right?
And gimmick, and then this was for Mid Atlantic, and then they had the Barbarian, they had the Butcher, you know, was there, and Shaska Watley, Pistol, you know, and they had the Baron, you know, he had so many in the Army. He just keep bringing them in to take care of me, and it went on for 5 years. And of course, one of the longest feuds, and it's still going on. You know, is me and of course the King. Jerry Lawler in Memphis. He started in 1977, and he still called me. And of course, we're now we're tag team partners and whatever. But it's just I was so fortunate to be able to work in all the great territories. And,
Boogie, I got a question for you, brother. You know, you spend a lot of time on the road in the car with guys. I heard a story that Jimmy Valiant likes to drive with the light on in his car.
You bet. Yeah, and the reason is because we slept all day, or not all day, but late, because we wouldn't get in bed till daylight. So you gotta lay down, and so you're sleeping in the daytime. So when you get up, you're not gotten that much light, and you gotta get ready and go on and to the show, and you get out, it's dark, and now when you're either going home or to the next show, this is our daylight, man. So I just leave it on so we could eat, we could drink, we could, talk, we could do whatever you want to do. And we just had a habit. And then we played cards in the back seat, two guys, whatever, man. This was, our family. We were with the boys, really, Angelo and Jeff, we was with the boys more we were with our actual family.
Yeah.
So it was our family.
That brings me to this question. I'm sure you've got like a steamer case full of stories from the road. So here's one for you. Good or bad, whether it was a good story or a bad one, what was the one thing that you remember most from the road? One story, one road story that really stuck with you.
Oh man, if it was Angelo, if it was a bad weather, we didn't even look at the weather now. I don't care if it's a foot of snow coming, man, a blizzard. We would drive until we couldn't drive no more. If you stop dead on the highway, which I have, and been there for 2 or 3 days, man, semis, everything, just big snowstorms, or you go. I don't care if gas, how much gas, it don't matter. We went, there was no, if you plan something now, you plan it, and, you try to get the best deal. You gotta go, man. We did everything by car, man, and we call the Baloney Blowout, man. We get 4 guys in there, and, we're at the beginning, we're not making that much money, and we stop at a store, man, and get a pound of bologna sliced and a loaf of bread and a jar of mayonnaise, and we'd fill up the tank. We'd all chip in to how much the tank was. We'd all chip in for the bologna sandwiches and mayonnaise, and we'd just make us a 2 or 3 sandwich each, and just keep going, and just stories. Oh my goodness, brother, man. It is just constant, one deal is like, we would drive, man, maybe, because we're driving all night, man. So we would drive like 2 hours each. So one guy would get under the thing, and the old cars, you could turn the clock back, man.
Sure.
So we'd let the guy drive 2 hours, and then the next guy comes, and just ribbon, man. And we'd let him sleep like 15 minutes, but we'd turn it back like he'd been sleeping 2 hours. And okay, well, geez, oh man, it's funny. And
Boogie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I read your book, and first of all, thank you for the book. It was amazing, and thank you for signing it for me.
Yes, sir.
And thank you also for including me in your book. I'm honored.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
Jeff the Ref, my partner in crime over here, he never heard the story about that special woman who took you guys in the snow. Can you share that story with us?
Oh, yes. It was one of I talk about three angels in my life, and that was one. And of course, the third one was my actual wife, Angel, which we've been together 30 years now. And
God bless you.
I can honestly say that in 30 years, Angelo, we've never had one argument, one cross word. And I tell people that, oh, come on, Boogie, man. I said, no, we ain't got time for it, man. Hey, we do. We just give each other space, and we just love each other. And the love is stronger now every day, man. And it's just a God-centered to me, and my angel. And but this angel, we were stuck. There it was. We was in Bruiser's territory. I was with one of the greatest Mexican wrestlers, ever been in the ring, man. Was Louis Martinez, and he didn't get all the big press and the big money like Pepper Gomez did and other Latin stars. But I'm telling you, to me, he was the best of all, and he was one of my mentors. And I would pick his mind, just a young boy, and we would make trips in Indiana there, and we were going from Fort Wayne, Indiana, on Route 69, and we was going in for the Sheik the next day into Toledo, Ohio, and before we got off of 69, before we hit the 80 and we're going on up in the 84 and to Michigan, that's what happened. A big snowstorm stopped us, and it was nothing but semis there. And I always said, Angelo, I says, at nighttime, especially during the week, and this was on a Thursday night, every night, there's nothing, but if you see cars during the week, I'd say, hey, they're either only the truck drivers and wrestlers are on the road. And it's about gospel, man. But anyway, so we stopped, and Louis had a big Chrysler 300, and man, it was a gas hog. It had that big Hemi engine in it, and we only had like a quarter tank, man, and we didn't know how long it. They said they're really going to get a lot of feed, and it's so many, and so he had to turn it off, and man, oh man, it got so cold so fast, and then I said, crank it up one more time, and we had to save gas, turned it back off, and after the second time, I said, man, I'm going to go talk to this trucker up here. And so I go and then I knock on the door and I say, hey, me and my partner, we're in the car. We're low on gas and we're really freezing because we can't let it idle. Them big trucks can idle all night with that diesel,
Sure,
yeah. And anyway, and he says, well, come on in, come on up. So anyway, we got back up in his truck, man, and at daylight, man, I sort of look out the window and sort of wipe the canvas off the inside and looked out, and here's a woman out there in snow, and I mean the snow is way past her knees, and she's waving at us, waving at the truckers and to come, and her home was right there, and real close, and so we all got out and went with her, and maybe there was a dozen of us probably all together, just the truckers that seen her right. We were so fortunate to park right in front of her home, and so so we were warm, and she fed us, and her name was Mary, and I never forget it. And of course, we tried to pay her, and just but we all laid on the floor and got warm and this and that, and we stayed there like 2.5 days or something before we started to move, and
Wow.
all warm. We all got to call her home and tell your family, and got to call the sheik and tell her we can't make the next 2 nights, and but yeah, true story, brother. And
Wow.
just one story out there on that road, I had over 10,000 matches, and
Yeah.
I drove over 4 million miles on U.S. highways getting to them matches. So
Wow.
you can imagine there's a lot of stories, and just like Jeff said too, it's in my book, and it's called Messy Daddy, Welcome My World, the Jimmy Valiant Story. And I tell people, it's hardback, it weighs 3 pounds. I said, hey man, buy you 2 copies, put one in each hand, and you can do curls. You need Billy Bond. Yeah, and
Go ahead, Jeff.
You can check that out at jimmyvaliant.weebly.com. jimmyvaliant.weebly.com, and or just email me, or website at is jimmyvaliant@outlook.com, and I'll write you back, brother. I answer everyone. I don't know how to, I'm old school. I don't know how to turn the computer off, but Angel, my lovely wife, does. And if I'm out of town, she'll tell you. She'll say, Jimmy's on it, Boogie's out of town now, but he'll get back to you as soon as he gets back, and I will. And then everything you're getting is from me, but she's doing the typing.
I will vouch for that. I will definitely vouch for that.
You know that for a fact.
I sure do. Angel takes care of Boogie.
Yeah, she does.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just agreeing with you that Angel does. She's really good for Boogie. I mean, I do know that at one point in time she made a lot of the tights for a lot of the boys on the indie scene there that were coming on up. So she is quite creative as well.
You bet. Yeah, she's got her Angels wrestling wear, and she makes all the outfits for the kids and the guys, and man, she makes beautiful robes and beautiful tights, singlets, and masks, man, capes. Hey, you name it, and whatever you can imagine, and she can make it come true for you, and she'll work with you, and it's something like you're not ordering it from China or Mexico, and where you get it, you wait for 6-8 weeks or more, and you finally get it, and it's not right. Then you got to send it back and wait another 6-8 weeks. Here, she can do it in a week. I turn it over, send it to you, and hey, if it's not right, send it back. She'll make it right, guaranteed, and then send it back to you. And you can get that within a week. And yes, sir. Yes,
right.
Sir. Just check. You can check that out too on the Weebly site, jimmyvaliant.weebly.com, or she has her own site. And just check out, and everything's off of the website there, or email. You can email her and email me. At the Outlook, jimmyvaliant@outlook.com.
All right.
Beautiful. Well, Boogie, I'll tell you what, brother. We barely scratched the surface with you. If you're agreeable to it, I'd love to have you back on the show again.
Please, anytime, brother. And hey, man, thank you for having me. And
I appreciate it, but we love you here. You know that.
Thank you, Boogie. We love you, brother.
Jeff the ref, and of course Angelo, my friend for so many years. And hey, all I want to do is say, Messy, Boogie Woogie man, feel good. I'll tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss Angelo and Jeff the ref, the radio show, man. I'll tell you, God bless you all. I love you, and brother, play that and call me back anytime, man. Hey, we'll do this many times as you want, man. Angelo, I love you, sir. Jeff, God bless you. I love you, man. And
love you, Boogie.
Blessed day.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Boogie.
Take care, Boogie.
Thank you so much.
You bet, my friend. You
All
bet.
right, bye-bye.
I'll talk to you in a couple of days, Boogie.
You bet.
Take care.
Bye.
Wow, that was tremendous.
Amazing.
All I got to say is our guests keep on getting better and better as we keep on going.
We got a double shot today, huh, Jeff? With Davey O'Han and Surprising Boogie.
Yeah, we got him, and then we got later on tonight we're gonna have Baby Doll up there. That's gonna be another good one. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
that's in my wheelhouse right there. That's in my wheelhouse. I started watching right when she got started. So
everybody's perfect 10.
Yes, sir. But no, Boogie, man, he's such a tremendous individual.
Yeah, what a great. I've known him for God Almighty. I've known him for so long.
To know him is to love him. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean, like I said, he helped me even early on in my career getting started. You know, he knew I was a greenhorn. He knew that I didn't know what the hell I was doing out there. And it was just like, kid, I got you. Just follow along and you know, and I'll help you dance.
So put in your mouth shut and listen.
and that was really what it was. You know what I mean? Like he just worked. You know, he would call the little spots to me on what he needed me to do. He was like, all right, I'm going to pick you up and put you on the turnbuckle. All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's rock. So anyway,
what do you got? The promoted Vanguard? What's going on?
We got VCW's coming up February 1st. That's less than 2 weeks away. We're going to have the Fatal 4-Way with Billy Gunn, Gangrel, Billy, or Brandon Scott, and Ken Dixon I believe it's Ken Dixon, to decide who's going to face Gino at the Hampton High School for the fundraiser for the Hampton Crabbers over there, where we are going to be bringing in as a special guest the one, the only Sergeant Slaughter. So
the Sarge.
Yeah, we're you know, we got some a couple good events coming up here for VCW. Sarge is
beautiful.
But February 1st, go to vcw-wrestling.com. or find them on Facebook, Vanguard Championship Wrestling, and locate us up there. And then, of course, you can find me. I'm on Facebook. I'm Jeff the Ref up there. Just look for me. I'm not hard to find. Trust me.
And if you're in up around Jersey way, check out Dog Championship Wrestling. The next show is February the 29th. That's a Saturday night. And that's in Little Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. That's Battle Brawl. And just go to dogchampionshipwrestling.com and you will have all of your show information. The champion, Breaker Morant, will decide that evening who he will defend his title against. It's a mystery opponent. We don't know. It will not be announced, and that's half the reason most people are going, quite frankly. They want to see who's going to show up.
There you go.
Dog, you never know who's going to show up. And so what else you got, Jeff? Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, guess what I'm doing tonight for dinner, Angelo?
I think you're going to Al Forno.
You're darn right. I'm going over here to see our buddy Nunzio tonight. I'm going to get the stuffed tortellini with shrimp and Alfredo sauce. Guess what? Alfredo sauce is homemade.
Oh,
Guess what else? That homemade bread is going to hit me right when I come in. Boom,
absolutely.
Bang, right up the nose.
Are you kidding me?
You know what? You cannot beat it.
I'm going to tell you what. This is a family-run operation. Nunzio and his wife and everybody works there. And
their whole family, honestly, will greet you when you come through that door. You ask to see Nunzio. He's normally there in the back in the kitchen and being a good chef as always. And, you know, people, if you guys want to go, I promise you, you will have a great time, great food, great night. And you know what? Guess where it's found?
Well, you know, look, first of all, you know, Nunzio is like within inches of adopting you.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, he feeds you better than your mother does right now.
Right now, yeah. Nunzio does a great job of taking care of me. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So Nunzio is at 1535 Holland Road. It's Al Forno Restaurant and Pizza in Suffolk, Virginia. And if you go there, and I tell everyone, just eyeball the corner. If you see a big man hiding underneath the menu, that's Jeff the Ref. You'll find him probably eating Alfredo. That's his favorite, his usual.
Yeah.
Alfredo shrimp.
I love it. I love their stuffed tortellini.
And I want to tell everybody too, Jeff, that they can find us on Twitter at Wrestling Future. You can find us also on Facebook.com/Wrestling with the Future. Email us if you got questions or comments about the show at wrestlingwiththefuture@yahoo.com. Inbox us on Facebook. You can reach Jeff. You can reach myself there. Just find us, friend us, whatever you want to do. We're easy to find.
Now, real quick, Angelo, before we totally sign off.
Sure.
What is this deal about these two guys up in New York running a show? They have the nerve to call my co-host out on their show.
Oh, you're talking about Monty and the Pharaoh.
Yeah, well, of course that's who I'm talking. I didn't want to even give them a plug. I didn't even want to acknowledge them.
First of all, let me say for the record, I love Jimmy Farrow and I love Mike Monty. They're great guys. What they were doing, in case people are not familiar, yes, they called me out on their show. They took a Facebook post that I wrote regarding Evan Ginsberg, our friend.
Yes.
And, of course, Evan does a weekly rant. Well, let's put it this way. They do a weekly rant called Evan's Rant. What they do is they screen capture Evan Ginsberg's wrestling rants, and they discuss it. Well, this week, I wrote an open letter to Evan Ginsberg.
You sure did.
And I basically pointed out some things about Evan that I think would calm his soul and nurture his spirit a little bit.
Agreed.
Apparently, Mike Monty and Jimmy Farrow took exception to that because they like to stir the pot. They like to rile up the shit, and they like Evan angry like he is. And so, at my expense, they used my post to promote Evan's post. And I'm okay with that. In fact,
fair enough. I mean, now to be
fair, it's all well and good.
Oh no! I was just being fun when I said what I did about them, but it's nothing but love.
Monty and the Pharaoh,
yeah,
great guys.
They're actually two good, great guys. I mean, they have a great show. I encourage everybody to go find them on YouTube, go watch them, give them a listen.
Actually hoping to get one or both of them on this show. I've been
but to be fair though, what I was going to say, what you were saying to Evan, it holds so true. And then I think I kind of came back with even my own suggestion of it does good to holler at them when you can take them out individually and maybe talk to them one-on-one and try to show the younger fans what it is. Actually now here, it's kind of good to go with the post that you were talking about there with Evan, and what Evan is ranting about is
right.
Jim Cornette and his co-host Brian Last on their drive-through podcast this week.
Right.
Brian Last said it best. He said, here is the problem with wrestling fans. A modern fan of today, fans that just starts watching today, five years ago even, they can go back on YouTube and watch the old product and enjoy what they see. Older fans, though, have a hard time watching the new product and enjoying what they see. Yeah. And that, I think, it sums it up best right there. However, you can't change the past. You got to move on with the future.
True.
And, you kind of got to, there's a way of letting them know, this is what I enjoyed, and here's why I enjoyed it, and here's what could be improved upon, and so on. But anyway, that's another topic, another day, another dollar.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to sign off for now because we got to get ready for Baby Doll tonight here in a couple hours. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, on behalf of Jeff the Ref, this is Psychic Meat Angelo. Happy wrestling, everybody. We will see you at the matches. Take care. Bye-bye.
bye, everyone.